Hey, it's Corey, and today you're going to learn how to play Put Your Records On by Corinne Bailey Ray. In total, there are 7 chords in this song, but we've definitely made some changes to make it a lot more accessible for a beginner player, and then we're utilizing one major strumming pattern throughout with a couple pauses of just playing on the chord changes to add up a little bit of stylistic change throughout the song. But otherwise, this is definitely a song that a beginner could play, but there might be a few advanced chords, so make sure to check out the chord tutorial part before trying to do the play along at the end of the video. But with all that, let's get right into it. As always, the first thing you want to do is make sure your ukulele is in tune, and that is a G on the 4th string, a C on the 3rd string, an E on the 2nd string, and an A on the 1st string. The first chord we're going to be looking at is the A major chord. To make that chord, you take your first finger, you're going to place that on the 3rd string 1st fret, and then you're placing your 2nd finger and putting it on the 4th string 2nd fret. Next, we have a B7 chord. A B7 has the same shape as an E minor. If you're familiar with that at all, it's just over a string. So you're going to start with your first finger, placing it on the 2nd fret 2nd string. Your 2nd finger is going on the 3rd fret 3rd string, and then your 3rd finger is going on the 4th fret 4th string. Next, we have a B minor chord. This is one of the more tricky chords in the song, but very doable if you follow a couple easy steps. First, take your first finger, place it all along the 2nd fret. You're going to use the harder part, not the fleshy part of your finger to do this, and you're going to press down. You're then going to take your 2nd finger and lay that on top to give the extra support it needs to bar down all of the strings. You're then going to take your 3rd finger and place it on the 4th string 4th fret. And there's your B minor. We also have a C sharp 7 chord. This is going to use that same barring technique that we just talked about for the B minor chord, but just placed all along the 1st fret. So you're taking your 1st finger, placing it down, your 2nd finger goes on top, and then you're actually going to take your 4th finger and place it on the 4th fret 1st string. This is a more difficult chord just because of the spacing between the 1st fret and the 4th fret. However, we only play this one time during the pre-chorus, so in total you're playing it 2 times for the whole song. After that, we have a D minor chord. D minor is like an extension of an A minor and also an F chord if you're familiar with those. So first though, you're taking your 1st finger and you're placing it on the 2nd string 1st fret. You're then going to take your 2nd finger and place it on the 2nd fret 4th string, and then your 3rd finger is going to go on the 2nd fret 3rd string. We also have a D major chord. This is going to be placed all along the 2nd fret here on strings 4, 3, and 2. You're going to start with taking your 1st finger, place it on string 4, your 2nd finger is going on string 3, and then your 3rd finger is going on string 2. And then finally, we have an F sharp minor. I know the name might sound a little scary, but it's actually very similar to a G7, which is another really beginner chord that you might be familiar with. It's just pushed over a string. To make the chord, you're going to take your 1st finger and place it on the 3rd string 1st fret. Your 2nd finger is then going to go on the 4th string 2nd fret, and then your 3rd finger is going on the 2nd string 2nd fret. And that's the F sharp minor chord. So those are all the different chords you need to be able to play this song. What I recommend is making sure you're familiar enough with the chords that you don't have to look directly at the chord chart. Now, if you're practicing between days, it's obviously okay to glance at it before your practice, but with playing in a play along, you shouldn't have to directly look at the chord chart in order to know how to make the chord. The chord chart is more of a reminder rather than you following the exact directions in that moment in time. So do yourself a favor and have the chords memorized before moving on to the next step. If you are at a point that you're ready to talk about strumming pattern though, good news, we're only using one for the whole song. What we're doing for this song is just a down, up, chuck, up, chuck. Slower, it's down, up, chuck, chuck. The counts for this is 1 and 2 and 4. 1 and 2 and 4. So all you're going to be doing is just repeating that strumming pattern throughout the entire song. What you could do though is at the very beginning, if you wanted to, you could switch it up a little bit and go down, chuck, up, chuck. That would also work just for the beginning though. So that intro section would be don't need to worry. once we get into the main strumming pattern, we really sit there in a nice groove with the song. So adding that little bit at the intro makes it a really nice option. During the play along, I'll have that intro there just in case you'd like to use it as well. The areas of the song where we're going to be deviating from that strumming pattern though are going to be in the little post-chorus line that goes, "You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow." And then on the somehow, when we go back to the A, we're gonna go back into the down, up, chuck, strumming pattern. The other section of the song that we're going to be moving to just playing on a chord change would be at the end of the bridge section where we have the "You don't have to try any longer, do what you wanna do, girl, put your records on," and then you go back into the strumming pattern again. Of course, these are all just recommendations. You can really change it up wherever you'd like by just going away from your main strumming pattern and going to playing on a beat or on the chord change like I'm doing here. These are just really easy, beginner-friendly ways that you can make the song sound a little bit more interesting without having to increase the difficulty of your strumming pattern. So just in a review, we're going to be playing the main strumming pattern throughout the entire song except for in the intro section, and then at the end of the post-chorus and at the very end of the bridge, we're going to be going back to just playing on the chord changes. Now, if all of that seems a little bit too complicated for you and you want an easier place to start, you can always just play through the entire song playing on chord changes or also just on the beat. But ultimately, make the song your own, whether you use the recommendations that I provide or you make up your own strumming pattern. Either way, just know that whatever you do, try to keep the most consistent tempo throughout and then also practice with a metronome. Or of course, you can practice with the play along that starts right now. 1, 2, here we go. Yourself somewhere, somehow, blue as the sky, sunburned and lonely, sipping tea in the bar by the roadside. You don't let those other boys fool you, gotta love that afro hairdo. Baby, sometimes we feel afraid, but it's alright. The more you stay the same, the more they seem to change. Don't you think it's strange? Girl, put your records on, tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, lay your head down, set a fire in faded jeans. I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, lay your head down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Twice more than I could take. Pity for pity's sake. Some nights kept me awake. I thought that I was stronger. When you gonna realize that you don't even have to try any longer? Do what you wanna do, girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, lay your head down, set a fire yourself somewhere, somehow. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial for Put Your Records On. It's a super fun song, and I hope you get a lot of joy playing with it. If you're at all looking for the song sheet for this song or any of my other tutorials or play-alongs, it is located on my Patreon, so you can go there, and the link is in the description box. Also, this was my February Patreon Song of the Month, so my patrons voted on a list of songs. They told me that they wanted to see this one made into tutorial the most, and so that is what I did. So if you're at all interested in getting to participate in those votes and get a little bit more of a say of what kind of tutorials you see on this channel, make sure to check out my Patreon, because that is where all that stuff happens. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye! Hey, it's Corey again. I just wanted to take a second and thank my gold tier members from my Patreon. Every month they give their very generous support, and those people are Rosemary Bristol, Glenn Clement, Perry Payne, Yuki, Stefan Ramirez, Nadia Rogers, Bradley Carter, Alexander Olin, Matthew Newton, Andrew Atbury, and Chad Taylor. Thank you guys so much for your continued support, and thank you to all my Patreon members. Bye! You're gonna find your